We are very.
Why is it like when you see that person and let's say maybe they're not like wow, like so attractive, but when they have all other attributes that you're looking for and you start falling in love with them, won't you start seeing beauty in them too?
For the most part, a lot of men are not good at communication, but I think as long as you're open-minded and you're ready to learn and change, it's something that can be worked on. It's almost like emotional intelligence. It's things that you get as you grow.
And the other thing I wanted to mention is that I also wanted to know the opinion of the other person when it comes to marriage, because whatever opinion they have when it comes to marriage, that will also determine if this person values marriage or they see it as something, oh, let's just get married, whatever happens happens, if it doesn't work out, then we go apart, right? But for me, that's not what I wanted. I wanted a long-term relationship, because marriage is a contract, it's a commitment. I wanted someone who is fully committed into it, whether good or bad, in good and bad times. I wanted someone who is totally 100% committed. So that's also one of the things that I looked for in a man. I wanted to just know what they think about marriage, and where they see themselves in a few years to come, Yeah.
And I think that's important, especially for women, to ask a man, like, well, where's this going?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the other thing that was very important to me is I needed someone who we could take care of each other, right? Like the way I was raised up, I knew how to cook, how to clean, I knew how to do all the things in a house. My mom taught us all those things. I actually took care of my younger siblings as they were growing up. And so I can take care of myself. But I'm still a kid. Most men, we're still kids at heart. Like I love it when my wife.
So you wanted someone who baby you?
No, baby is like, no, baby is not the word. It's like someone who just wants to be.
I'm just kidding, honey.
Yeah.
Someone who you can take care of each other.
Yeah, someone who can, I love it when my wife makes food. I can cook, but I cannot cook like the way she cooks. I enjoy when she cooks. I enjoy when she serves me, Like the other day, not the other day, like when I started working locally, because I used to, go away for a couple of days for work, she would pack my food for me. And then sometimes I would pack my food myself. But then I noticed when she packs my food for me, I enjoy it way more than when I pack it myself.
And why it's so? Because I'm the one who packed it.
Yeah, I don't even know how to explain it. Like it's weird. I'm trying to find the best way to explain it, but I think it's just the intention behind it. The fact that you made it for me, and I know my wife prepared this for me. I thoroughly enjoy it more than when I do it myself. Even though I can, for some reason, I find it to be more tastier. And I'm like, oh man, my wife made me this wonderful sandwich or whatever it is. And I love that a lot. So I wanted that. I wanted someone who can, like when I said take care of each other, because I do the same.
You do the same. And not to cut you short, but coming from an African household, I grew up seeing men not cooking or taking care of babies, or just everything being done for them. The only thing that they had to do was just bring money in the house, provide, yes. But now in these times that we're in, women provide as well. I think it's important for a guy to help in the kitchen as well. I'm not saying that a guy should do everything in the kitchen, but if you can help out, clean the dishes or cook once in a while. If I'm not able to cook because I'm in bed because I just had a baby, in such cases,
Yeah.
just someone who can also take care of our family, not just me doing all the work, and on top of that, I'm also bringing in a paycheck. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wanted someone who we can help each other, where we don't have to have that mindset that a woman should do this and a man should do this,
Yeah.
And I love, I love to cook for you, I love to serve you or to do everything else for you. But I also wanted someone we can help each other.
Yeah. That's true. It's a woman's place is not just in the kitchen. I
True.
guess that was the mentality back then.
True.
And yeah, like you said, it was just the man just sits and does nothing. The wife does everything.
And take care of the kids as well.
Yeah.
Not only cook and clean, but also take care of the kids.
Yeah. And like you said, the world we live in now, women work too and they bring in a paycheck as well. And so so I cannot speak for everyone. This is different for everyone because I understand everyone has the way they think.
Yeah.
And some women are okay with that. They're like,
Yeah.
Yeah. And some women will be like, okay, I'll live and stay at home and you don't have to do anything.
You don't have to do anything.
I will do everything.
Yeah. But
and
what happens when the woman gets a baby and she cannot come out of the bed? Like that's where you will need the man to step in, like help out, like bring food, make food for the rest of the kids.
You think even in such a situation they might not do that?
Yeah.
They're still like, yeah, I know you have a kid, but
I
hey,
know you have
that
a
food
kid,
needs to be
but
made.
hey, you still
we
need
cannot
to
stay
cook.
hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sad. But I know that happens. Like, we cannot assume it does not happen. It does happen.
Yeah.
But for me, like I said, I was raised, I do all those things and I don't mind doing them. I actually enjoy them. Like I don't mind running the dishwasher.
Yeah.
And so okay, so we in the US. I know it's different from wherever you're watching this, in which part of the world you're in.
True.
But loading a dishwasher is not a big deal.
Take time,
Yeah, it's just putting stuff in there and running the machine. It does everything, right? I don't mind cleaning the house. I clean it so. The thing with me is, if I see something needs to be done, I'm not gonna keep asking my wife, "Oh, can you do?" I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah.
If I see there's a need that needs to be fulfilled, I will just do it, regardless whether you are planning on doing it later.
Yeah.
I will do it, and that's just the way I am. But everyone is different.
Yeah.
And every marriage has different dynamics. Every relationship has different dynamics. I don't think one is good, one is bad.
And every culture is just different.
Yeah, and every culture is just different.
Yeah.
So, like you said, I think that is something you should talk about before, before you fully get into that relationship. Because can you imagine if, let's say, for example, I was the kind of guy who I am like that. Like, I believe I cannot, I provide, you do everything else. And you think the way you think, and we don't talk about that early in the beginning, we would have problems. We would have problems. But if I was that type of guy, and you're the woman who doesn't mind that, you're like, yeah, I'll do everything, then there's no issue.
True.
So I think as long as you talk about it early on, and you understand, you tell them, hey, this is, I need help. And the guy says, yeah, I'll help you, I don't mind. But if the guy says no, then now you can decide if you want to go further with it, or you're like, okay, I think you are not the one for me.
Yeah. And the other thing, actually, which was more important to me, let alone cooking and cleaning and all that, but I wanted someone who is fully involved in their children's life, because again, coming from an African household, men, they don't change diapers, they don't feed babies. Like, if the child starts crying, here, your child is crying, they give that child to their mother. But I feel like it's not just about helping the woman with the child, it's just creating that relationship, you as a dad creating that relationship with your child, because at the end of the day, it's not like you're doing me a favor by changing your child the diaper, but you're creating that relationship with your child, because as they grow up, they will live to remember some of the things that you did for them, you know. But if they saw, oh, mom is the one who does this for me, I don't feel like they will have that intimate relationship with you as a dad, you know. There's some things they'll come and talk to me about, but they're not gonna tell you because they didn't have that relationship with you. So you as a dad helping out when it comes to your child changing, it's okay for men to change their children's diapers. It's okay for them to play with your children. Just have time for your child. Doing things, activities with your child, I think it's very important because you're creating that relationship with your child.
Yeah, it is. And like you said, you know, as the times change and people change, a lot of men, the current men right now who are fathers now, we all think like that. Like we all want relation. Of course, there's some who don't care. They still think, you know, that old way. But for the most part, like we want to be in our child's life. We want to cultivate that relationship. We want to work on it. And you can only do that by being present in every way, not just in provision, but also being involved in every aspect of their life, of the child's life. You know, spend time with them. You know, it's just a relationship, pretty much like me and you in a relationship. There are all these aspects that are involved in the relationship, like time for each other, you know, supporting each other. That's the same thing. And that kid, they need you. They need their dads. True. Children need their dads. They do. Like there's things that a dad brings in a child's life that a mom cannot necessarily bring, right? True. Like we all have different attributes and all have different traits, and we all have different, I don't want to say, maybe talents that we instill in the child. And you do it from a woman's perspective and I do it from a man's perspective. And so it's important for men to be involved in their children's life from a young age, right? Not when they're older. Now they don't need all that help. Is when you're like, oh, okay, now I'm here. Like from the minute they need help with everything to the moment they're like, yeah, I can do all these things. So it's important. But like I said again, a lot of men these days, they don't, you know, that's the good thing. They want to be involved in their children's lives.
They want to be involved in their children, which is just a perfect thing.
It's good.
Because honestly, if you look at our relationship with God, like you don't want to tell him just the big things. Like you don't want to tell him, oh God, I need a car. God, I need help with this. But when it comes to those minor things that you think are too little to let God know, you know, you don't want to tell him. And he desires that relationship with him. Like he wants you to tell him just about anything. If there's someone who irritates you, you can be honest with God. Tell God, man, this person just makes me feel a type of a way, Lord, just help me. You know, just you're being real with your father, you know. So I feel like it's the same thing when it comes to parenting. You as a dad, when you have that intimate relationship with your child will be free to come and tell you some of the things that he could have not or she could have not told you if you didn't cultivate that relationship, you know.
The last thing that I want to say about this, and it goes back to what I mentioned earlier about the things, except from the non-negotiables, there are other things that a person, all these attributes that they have that you might not necessarily know or think about, but later on you're like, oh, wow, I'm so glad, you know, you have these things. So I used to always hear behind every successful man, there's a woman, and you know, and I'm like, okay, like I knew because that's what everyone says, but I didn't quite understand how that works until when I got married, and I was like, okay, I see how that happens. Like guys, I can tell you, some of the wisest counsel I've ever received in my life has come from my wife.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Tell me, what did I tell you?
It's a lot. I cannot go one by one. But you know, when you're going through a thought process and you're thinking about something, like we'll sit down and we'll consult and we'll talk about it, and she will really help me like have a better perspective and clear my mind in such a way that I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Like we will sit down and talk, and now I see why behind every, you know, why they say that. Because also just the support that comes from your wife is like you cannot get it anywhere else. Like, she's the person who will always be there for me regardless of whatever happens in our life, whether things are good, whether things are bad. She will always be there to support me, tell me, okay, this thing is looking like this, but we can do it, you can keep going on. And that wise counsel, or let me just say counsel in general, and the support that comes from my wife, man, that is what makes people cross that line. And that's why you see a lot of situations where a man might be stagnant in their life, and then they get married, and all of a sudden they start making steps. You're like, oh man, since that man got married, man, he's doing good.
Yeah.
He's moving, he's he's in a better mental state.
True.
He's taking steps in his life, and that's where it comes from. Behind, but I don't think it's behind, it's really right next to each other. But yeah, that is one of the things that I realized, and I was like, oh my goodness, wow, this is such a blessing.
Oh, that's so good to hear. That is so great to hear. And I just want to add something and say that, when you're younger, you have this mentality, or not, let me not say when you're younger, but when you haven't matured enough, some of us women, we have this mentality, oh, he has to be making 6 figures or 7 figures for me to even consider being with this man, But one of the things I have realized now, the fact that I'm married, that marriage comes with its own blessings. If this person have all these other attributes that you were looking for, and let's say maybe they're not there financially, maybe they're not making 7 figures as you were looking for, right? But when you get married,
7 figures. Looking for a millionaire.
You're looking for a millionaire, right? Mind you, you're not making that 7 figures, so it should, I feel like, personally, I just think that it should balance, right? If you're looking for someone who is making 6 figures, you better be making 6 figures too. If you are looking for someone who's making millions, you better be there too, right? Yeah. But we all have this mentality, oh, he has to have 6 figures, he has to have this big mansion, he has to be driving this car, but I just feel like those things, they really don't matter. If this person has the same core values, if you guys understand each other, if you are mature enough and you have the same goals in your life, you will get there. You will definitely get there as a team. You don't have to have someone, and God is faithful. He's able to give you someone who is making 7 figures if you're not making 7 figures. But be open-minded. Like, he doesn't have to be making that much for you to like this person. If he has all these other attributes, believe me or not, I know that God will get you there when you get married.
Yeah, and I think it's good to build together.
Yeah.
Other than, either way it's good, but I think it's better to build together. Like, True. You can say, okay, yeah, we got here together, right? He can work his way to those 6 figures and those 7 figures.
Yeah.
And those, you also have to think about, like, those men who are like that, like you said, they know everyone wants them.
True.
Yeah. So they know everyone. Oh, yeah, everyone wants me. So you also gotta bring something to the table that they find worth in. They find that to be attractive too.
True.
It gets to a point where it's just not your beauty that counts.
That you're bringing in.
Yeah, it cannot.
Because they can get any other beautiful person out there because they have the money.
Yeah, they know, and they know. When you know.
Yeah.
When everyone is chasing after you, then you're like, okay, what are you bringing to the table?
Sure.
And so, even for that person who wants that person with a 6 figure and a 7 figure, just ask yourself, if I was the person with the 6 figures, would I want me? Like, what am I bringing to the table? And so, it's not bad to want 6 and 7 figures, but also be worth that 6 and 7 figure, whatever that man would be looking for.
True.
But yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't have no 6, 7 figures. But I'm not lazy, and I knew eventually I would get there. And that's when coming back to what I was saying about a lot of women. Some women, you know, they already had like a career path. They had all these things laid down in front of them. But for most men, we just don't have our ducks in a row, and so we are figuring things out as life goes on. Yeah. And that's where when the woman comes in and you see they become very successful, is because, you know, the wife can bring clarity. Yeah. Definitely better than one. And she'll bring clarity and order and be like, I think, you know, maybe you can be someone who's just like, oh yeah, I'll do this, I'll do that. But now with that lady in your life, you're like, okay, she encourages you to follow one thing and you pursue that thing, and eventually it works out.
Or she tells you, man, what is this that you're doing? You need to stop.
Yeah, you need
Focus
to.
on this other thing.
Change. Yeah, try
or
this other thing.
He tells you the same thing too, right?
And the reason why we listen to our wives is because they have a soft way of, you know, when men are talking, we are just rough, like, should have tried this, man. You never try this. But women, when a woman is in her femininity, right? She's not trying to be masculine, and because if you come in with that force, like you're trying to fight me, my natural response is I'm bringing that energy too. But when you come with that femininity energy and you calm and collected, and you know, you talk to me in a smooth way, oh yes, definitely gonna listen. And you know, when your wife brings that counsel in that way, yeah, you listen, yeah, like, yeah, maybe I should try that. Yeah, maybe I've never seen it like that. Yeah, let me. And so yeah, it's he has those 6 figures. He's looking for something. But even those men who are not there yet, or they will get there. Sometimes we just need the right partner in our lives, and everybody will, and they bring value to your life too. It's not just one way. It goes both ways. Yeah, it's a double-edged sword.
That's true.
It cuts on your side and it cuts on my side. We help each other.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Oh man.
To wrap this up, I think my last one that I would say, what I was looking for in a man, I wanted someone who is funny. And I know I mentioned this earlier. I didn't want someone who is too serious. But I just wanted someone who makes me laugh. I know I'm not the funniest, but I try to make you laugh too, don't I?
Oh, you're funny, honey. You should be on Churchill's show.
I try my best, guys. But I wanted someone who is happy, someone who is jovial, someone who is not always negative, you know, someone good energy, someone who is not a pessimist. So I just wanted someone who is positive in life, because this life, you gotta go through ups and downs, and if you're always negative, that energy will get to you as well. It's gonna affect you. Yeah, but when it comes to being funny, I found you being funny. You make me happy. You definitely do make me happy. I hope that you did learn a thing or two, what we have shared, and you could have different attributes, and that's okay. Whatever your core values are, whatever attributes that you're looking for, we're not here to say that they are not the right ones. You know, just go by however the Lord leads you. But at the end of the day, what we have to realize is that even as you're looking for a partner in life, put God first, and He will bring the right person. And don't waste yourself with so many men or so many women out there just trying out to see, oh, is this the right one, is this the right one? You know, take some time to yourself, also get to know yourself, and also to work on yourself, even as the Lord brings that person that He has kept for you. Just work on yourself, work on the things that you know very well you need to work on, like anger, unforgiveness, you know, some of those things, because nobody is perfect. But I do hope that this was a blessing to you. If you haven't subscribed and you have been watching our videos, please do subscribe, because that helps this channel to grow, and we really appreciate your time and just watching this video. Comment, tell us what you think about this video, tell us what you're looking for in a man or what you're looking for in a woman. We would love to hear your feedback, and until then, we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Bye.